She was.
Yeah, so it's 5:01. So Dr. Ricky Smith, if we're ready to begin, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Please do.
Welcome everyone this evening, July 21st, to the special board meeting for the Tigard-Tualatin School District. Dr. Ricky Smith, are there any changes to this agenda?
There are none.
So this evening's agenda is brief, as you all know. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
And I do not need a second because there are 4 in attendance, not 5. Motion was made to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye, and I'll just do a verbal aye if that's okay. Director Bowman, you want to unmute?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And aye. Motion carries, and the agenda is approved as presented. Next item on the agenda is public comment. I know we had one for a clarifying comment. Director Zertsmead, if you want to read it, it's brief. And
got it. Comment: the 2020-21 updated school year calendar proposal has winter break listed from December 22nd to January 1st. I am assuming this is a typo. Shouldn't winter break start on Monday, December 21st instead? Thank you, Jen Cannon.
Perfect. And I will actually, we will close that and move to the action items. And I believe that Director Ebert will address that public comment in her presentation. So Director Ebert, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Yes, we found that typo thanks to that public comment. It's correct on the calendar. I updated the cover sheet to read the 21st, sent that to Patty so that she can update that in the board book. So we should be good to go. So in terms of the calendar, as you know, on the cover sheet, we reiterated the process that we have gone through this spring and summer with the calendar. And with the state of affairs that we are in, it required us to take another couple of looks at that calendar. You had made some suggestions that you had us look into, and then as we gathered more information about where we were with going back to school in the fall, we did further investigation into how to best suit the calendar to fit the needs of a hybrid model or the model of 100% distance learning. So this calendar will fit either and will work for both. So you can see the changes that we made to the calendar by moving all of the professional development and work days to the Wednesdays, which will be an instructional day for our students, but a planning catch-all day for our teachers. And on those particular days that should have been a work day or a PD day, those will now fall on that Wednesday, but still serve the same purpose. So those have been moved to match up with the quarter ending for work days, etc. We also made the adjustment to add an additional week of teacher collaboration after teacher in-service in September this year, knowing full well that with the changes that we see with either the hybrid or 100% distance learning, that we need to provide our teachers additional training and time to prepare for students on September 14th, whatever that may bring. We were able to increase our instructional days by a little bit by being able to have those Wednesdays with students being online. And so you'll see that I put in the total quarter days and total days at the bottom of the calendar. I don't have it in front of me, but thinking about the other changes that we made. Do you have any questions or concerns about the calendar as it is presented?
My only question is, how does this set us in terms of the number of hours of seat time that the state usually requires students to have in order to get credit for their classes? I assume there's some sort of a waiver coming from the state this year?
I I don't have that information about the waiver, but I know that the seat time didn't change in this calendar that we had already approved in the first calendar.
And Director Ebert, I'm happy to answer Director Zerchmead's question. We understand that the waivers that were placed presented last year at the State Board of Ed relative to seat time are still in place going into the new year.
That's what I would expect. We can't be the only people doing this.
The thing I guess I'll just put on the record is I asked this question of Dr. Sue, and she confirmed that, and I believe Director Ebert did too, that so if anyone's watching, regardless of which instructional model TTSD selects to open the school year in, be it comprehensive distance learning, hybrid, this calendar will apply to all those settings. So I think that's important for folks to know if they're tuning in worried about calendar stuff.
Appreciate that, Director Bowman. And that was the planning here was, again, regardless of whether you're brick and mortar, whether you're hybrid, or whether you're distance learning, the calendar facilitates all three of those models.
And I guess my only question, just to validate, is this clearly has been vetted thoroughly with staff, with union leadership, and all in support of how we've structured this calendar, correct?
Yes, I've brought this calendar to both labor management for TTEA and OSEA and explained the changes in detail, and had full support from both groups as well as cabinet. And yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll do.
I do, Maureen, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
We're so slow. I'm trying to wrap my head around the Wednesdays that are PD days and also distance learning days, and struggling to understand what that means.
So the professional development days that are built into the calendar originally would have been professional development that are aligned to the district SIP plan, equity goals, all of that good stuff that we are working on, both qualitatively and quantitatively. And we still may be able to do some of that. And we may need those professional development days to address issues that are coming up that our staff are going to need help with. And we're looking into being able to provide most likely a menu of options because staff will have different needs at different times. But that's a sacred day that we can count on having professional development made available to our staff. And both classified and licensed will be able to participate with the, that was the beauty of this calendar too, that ended up being a silver lining, that our classified staff will have some of those Wednesdays available to be able to collaborate and team. And that's something that they have been really wanting when we've been working with them in our recruit and retain meetings that we had last school year. And so that is a silver lining of the calendar, that they'll have a little bit more professional development time. I think your question is, how are we managing kids as we are doing professional development? Is that pinpoint more what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's more, it just kind of shifted from the Fridays, but yeah, I really am wondering about the kiddos, that if they don't have access to staff, what is their learning looking like?
And I can't answer all of those questions, Director Emerson, because I'm not involved in all of the nuts and bolts around the instructional piece. But I know that work is being done to look at how we manage the 3 days that students will be in distance learning and the 2 days that they will be on campus if we're in a hybrid model. If they're in 100% distance learning, then the management of the distance learning looks a little bit different with each model. But that Wednesday would be a day where there may be a possibility of some hours. And again, I don't have all the details of what those Wednesdays are going to look like. We have some negotiating to do with that. But there will be some hours that students could possibly get check-ins from teachers during that time. But on some of those days, it may be set up where students are completely independent on that Wednesday and have things loaded up for them to do. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look. Director Robson might have more exact details about how that would look for students on Wednesdays. But I don't know that we've worked through all of the details of that.
Yeah, Debbie, I would emphasize that too. It's still work to be done, but the intent is to, I think, ultimately find some time for check-ins and some work with students, whether that be with teachers during a given time during the day or in looking at our instructional assistants as well, and how they come into play connecting with students on that Wednesday. So more.
And also, Director Emerson, contractually, even on the professional development days, teachers have a certain amount of time to work in their SATs. And so that's potential time that we could discuss with TTEA about how to use that SAT time. So there, we've definitely have more conversation to have about how those professional development days look in this particular environment.
Any additional questions? Good conversation, and I'll take a motion.
I move that the Tigard-Tualatin School District Board of Directors adopt the updated 2020-21 school year calendar as presented.
Okay. And as a reminder, no second is required. Motion was made to adopt the calendar as presented. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll do roll call. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Director Bowman.
Aye.
Director Emerson.
Aye.
Director Zerchmead.
Aye.
And Director Wolf is an aye. Motion carries. And with that, I think we are adjourned until 6 o'clock when we have the opportunity to listen in to Dr. Ricky Smith. So thank you all for your time this evening, and we'll see you soon.
All righty.